The mind-blowing story begins in a haunted red zone area. A young boy is looking for Miss Asaka. Walking in between the corpses, he finds Miss Asaka confiscated. A woman strangles her throat and aims the gun. The young boy watches her begging for life, but the woman keeps on threatening them. She warns them to move an inch or she'll shoot them dead. While her empty slogans don't harm anything. Instead, she is dead just by a glare from the young boy. The child's remarkable, breathtaking ability kills a woman with just a simple glare, even though the glare is unintentional. Miss Asaka is astounded to see him that much powerful. The scene changes to the same young boy sleeping in a school bus. Tomochika, his classmate, is trying to wake him up after the recent catastrophe. He was not even bothered by the yells of fellow students or the huge dragon surrounding their bus. The schoolboy is hanging dead in the paw of the monster. Another girl is dead, lying in the streams of blood. But nothing bothers him to disturb his sleep. So, Tomochika feels the dire need to get help from the only boy left alive. He thrashes the dragon's tail with the mic and distracts its attention. The strike adds up to its anger, and it rises up to the sky with a loud roar. The burning breath of the dragon scares Tomochika, and she hugs him tightly after pinching her eyes with fear. However, suddenly, the huge monster is thrashed to the ground. It is dead with just the fierce eye magic of the protagonist, Takatu. Tomochika is still in shock and wants to know the cause of its death. But Takatu is playing a video game. He decides to wait until she gets calm. His calm demeanor amuses her, and she behaves normally in a conversation. Takatu asks about the time when he was sleeping. She starts with a bright sunny day when the school bus leaves for a tour. However, it turns out to be the worst nightmare for some. Right after they move through a tunnel, the bus enters a meadow. This was new for everyone. The curiosity was genuine. But the sunny, bright, dazzling meadows keep them calm. Until a beautiful yet dangerous sage enters the bus and kills a man for interrupting her introduction. This spreads a fear of death in everyone present. No one dares to breathe loudly after this sudden threat. She claims to own the 530,000 level of power in this world. This is another dimension of the world where everyone fights to survive at every step. The driver mockingly laughs at her and ends up dying by the mere hand magic. She seems to be one of the strongest sages here. Hence, she warns them to do anything stupid, or they'll lose their life in an instant, just like the two before. This is a world of sages, and everyone needs to work hard to get the chance to live. They all are appointed to serve the sage as her candidates, as she needs to keep up with the trends of this world. They need to hire candidates to fight and earn power while living in this world. The sage produces a magical glow for all the passengers. This is to install the battle song system in them. Suddenly, they are treated like slaves. Surprisingly, Tomochika and Takatu are not shining. She tries to wake them up, but they are submerged in invisible portals. They can see their assigned duties, ranks, power statuses, rewards, and time remaining. The sage set a time limit to achieve the status of sage for all these passengers, which was up to 1 month. Tomochika inquired about her exception, and she's been called incompatible according to the automatic recruiting system. The sage declares her not suitable for the task. She is asked to take care of the livestock and earn mana through it. Her first mission will start in an hour. Till then, she has to dodge a dragon and fight it to live. The sage leaves and sets all others to work on their tasks. One of them is the manager, who's responsible for everyone's status. He can order them around and make decisions for his team. The proud manager asks the 4 of them to stay here. He wants to keep the incoming dragon involved in these 4 baits, so the others can make it to the town easily. He is the manager, so he can threaten and control them. They can't even stand against it because, as per the ranks, the manager has been given more powers. He can pull out the seats of the bus with bare hands and do anything to threaten them. They have no choice but to accept their fate and wait for the dragon. Although they are not powerful enough to fight it back, all they can do is try. Takatu keeps on snoring even in times of maximum stress. Even when the dragon chases the bus and splatters all its windows, it bangs the gigantic claws on it and breaks its paw into the stomach of the boy. The hopeless girl doesn't even try her luck and loses her breath in an instant. Hence, the story ends, and Takatu gets to know about every moment while he is sleeping. After listening to the tragic story of deaths and monsters, his biggest concern is to charge the handheld. This is frustrating for her because anyone could lose their temper or get some goosebumps after listening to it. but he is as calm as nothing has happened in the last few moments. Hence, Tomochika compels him to take the situation seriously, and he steps out of the wrecked bus to analyze the situation. He believes that the dead dragon can't allure any more danger, so they have to see ways to get rid of the problem. Tomochika is still stuck at the death of the giant monster. She asks about his hidden powers. However, he likes to stay silent and exclaims the death of the monster is some fate granted upon them. Suddenly, they notice the manager flying towards them with his 2 subordinates. They are amused to see the dragon dead and 2 survivors. The biggest question is how these ordinary candidates have killed the giant monster with no powers and ranks. Hence, the manager is relieved that they keep the dragon engaged, and they get the time to travel more. They don't care about anyone's lives but their own. Takatu wants to kill them, but the generous Tomochika still has some kindness left for them. Although, Takatu knows that they are flying here with the intention of killing them. If they can abandon them in difficult times, they will not be interested in seeing them alive. In addition, one of the subordinates holds the power of healing. He planned to heal the Tomochika's corpse into a creepy zombie, but this turned out to be an unfulfilled wish. But the manager has no shame and guilt for making the wish come true, so he prepares for a loud clamor with a giant fireball so close to Tomochika. He wants her dead to play the zombie's experiments on her dead body. Luckily, she survives the attack and steps aside. Hence, the fireball turns the beautiful meadowland into ashes. The power status of the manager can be determined by the damage it has done to the place. No one can dare to stand in front of him after this devastating move. He succeeds in spreading the terror and asks Tomochika to obey them. They try to seduce her and play along with her body, but she is completely rebellious. The limit has been crossed, and Takatu finds it best to answer their filthiest demands. He asks her to remain silent while he serves as a shield for her. He points at the manager and spells the word die. They take it as a joke until the dead body falls to the ground with a loud thud. He touches the ground with his face down and can't even get the chance to dodge it. The subordinates are shocked and threaten to see their biggest flex dying so easily. Trembling in severe shock, they ignore the Takatu commands. They try to wake up their master and end up losing one more life. Now, the healer is breathing only but in extreme shock. He gets the chance to live because he doesn't move. He tries every inch to even hold his breath to fulfill the Takatu's demands. The fear of death can be seen in his eyes, which lets him do whatever is heard. Takatu exclaims to explain his powers, but he lets him check if his partners are actually dead. He doesn't want him to have any doubts before explaining his blessed miracle. The healer gets the chance to play his trick. For the imminent support from this fearful Takatu, he tries to use his powers to wake them up. He believes that his powers can bring the dead back and heal any wound, no matter how deep it is. However, even the optimal magic usage can't help, and he ends up kneeling in front of Takatu. Meanwhile, Takatu explains that he didn't say a word about it at the time of the dragon's death because he wasn't interested. But now, if he skips the explanation of his remarkable gifts and super magical abilities, the healer would pick a fight. As the healer is not smart and powerful enough to decide his best, he wants to explain now. Tomochika is shocked to see the reality of his mate, even when he isn't blessed with the glow of sage. He is so powerful and unbelievable, even without the gifts of this land. His abilities cover to kill the target instantly. He just has to think and decide to kill a target, and the powers will do it for him. The healer is confused and considers it fake until Takatu threatens him to try them on him. He jumps with fear to avoid the risk and claims to understand with his every word. However, he still shows the courage to betray him. He intends to kill him by pulling out a ball of killing magic. However, he can't make it happen because Takatu can track any intent of killing him. He can sense it from even a distance and kill the attacker in an instant. These two abilities make him the most remarkable fighter in this alternate world. The healer knows his worth now. He is disappointed to see him powerless and helpless. Takatu asks about his confidence in aiming at him even after the deaths of his partners. Teen reveals that he has been in this world even before. They were summoned here by the mages of a man kingdom a few days ago. They fight here for a year and then defeat the demon king before they are sent back. Although, no one notices their absence in the real world for the whole year. At this, the healer explains that the time stops for them, and they can spend as much as they need to complete their tasks. But the real world feels their absence for a few hours only. Finally, Takatu knows that there's a chance of their going back. So, he aims to kill the healer to lessen the worries, but he begs for his life. His hopeful eyes request Tomochika to support him in this, but Takatu has saved her, so she can't stop him from doing anything. The healer even offers his slavery to Tamachika for this, but she wants him to enslave Takatu because he deserves that. The slavery belt is applicable to the first person it sees, so it accepts Tamachika as his master. This is the ultra-magical belt that compels its master to give orders, and the slave is obliged to perform them. Tamachika doesn't want his slavery and transfers it to Takatu. Hence, the healer fears his remarkable abilities, so he resists. However, it seems that he can't do much to stop the process. Finally, Takatu is the master, and he lets him live out of generosity. Although he wants to get rid of him, he decides to send him to the forest. He knows that the forest is full of beasts. He doesn't want to end up his life in the crowd of wolves, so he tries to resist. But the magical belt knows its work, so it tightens the coil against its neck and lures its feet towards the forest. It is obeying the master automatically, no matter how hard the healer wants to stop it. Takatu wakes up with a ray of hope when he decides to present one more command. However, it is to forbid the healer from telling anyone about this. Also, he commands that all hard-earned money like items be handed over to him. The healer persists, but the belt is obeying him voluntarily. He has lost all his wealth, and now he is about to lose his life, too. He is stuck in the worst situation as the robbery was truly unexpected and non-traditional. Takatu doesn't want any risk during this time, so he plans to get rid of him. This lightens up Tamachika about the favors he has been doing to her. She believes that maybe he has fallen in love with her, but Takatu angers her with the flirtatious comments. In the meantime, Sage Sion's reporter informs her about the unexpected deaths of two S-rank candidates, hence the manager and his man. She thinks that maybe their cause of death has not been reported due to some failure in the system. She'll take care of it later. Like this video and let me know in the comments if you are excited for next part.